After 2.5 long weeks, welcome back to the Below Average Joe's MMA show. We do apologize for the delay in episodes. There's just been a lot going on. There, of course, has been an off week this past week in mixed martial arts. So there are obviously going to be some big changes made. Maybe I shouldn't say obviously because we haven't talked to you guys in the past 2 weeks. But we're just going to get right into that first and foremost to kick off the episode today. And I'll just rip the band aid right off. This is obviously Dominic that you are hearing. There will be no Noah on the show today. He actually came to me a couple weeks ago and said that due to some life changes coming up and just some things going on in his life, he doesn't feel he would have been able to continue to give 100% of his efforts to the show, to the community that we've built, and therefore he did decide to kind of step away from the show, at least now for the time being, for the foreseeable future. I just want everybody to know first and foremost again that this was no, ill will. There was no hatred or heat. We're still best friends. We lived together for years, went to high school together, went to college together. None of that. It was just kind of a life thing. Life comes up as we get older. Things come up, and you got to just sort through everything, your priorities, get everything in line. And I know Noah will do just that. So I wish him nothing but the absolute best. Again, one of my absolute best friends, someone that's going to be in my wedding party, all of that jazz. So I love the guy. 3 years we did this thing together, and it was just absolutely incredible. We started really in the height of the pandemic in August of 2020, and we went strong, man. He went from August 2020 to September 2023. We went through so many things together through this show, changes, and well, we were trying to sort out our very first episode with a microphone bought from Walmart and a vlogging kit, recording with the AC on in the background. Then we transitioned to moving apart from one another, and we start video, podcasting, and all that stuff. So we just went through a lot, so many changes, so many improvements that we made. The evolution of the show was great, and none of that would have been done without Noah. So again, if you're listening, Noah, I love you. You know I love you. Everybody listening loves you as well. We wish you nothing but the best. And I will just say that going forward, it is just a solo effort right now for me. I cannot guarantee how good, or hopefully not, but maybe how bad this will be. It's definitely going to be a learning curve. It's going to take some getting used to from myself and obviously for you listeners. So I'm definitely going to give this a try for a little bit. We've got a lot of cards coming up, big cards, big fights. So that's fun. Hopefully there'll be some more news coming, and I'm going to give it my best. We're going to see how it goes for a little while. If it goes well, if you guys enjoy it, we're going to keep this thing going. But I'm going to give it my all. Hope you guys do know that. We're going to get into it now, and it starts with Bellator 300. One of the biggest nights in Bellator history, one of the biggest events in Bellator history, Bellator 300, goes down this weekend. As I previously had mentioned, just quickly in the agenda for today's show, it was originally supposed to be a 4 title fight card with Ryan Bader and Linton Vassell having their rematch in the main event. That, of course, has fallen through just at the beginning of this week. If I'm not mistaken, Vassell had to be pulled due to injury/illness, so we will not get the heavyweight title fight, but we still got 3 more. The new main event is Usman Nurmagomedov and Brent Primus. It is a lightweight Grand Prix semi-final. Yes, Grand Prix are still happening in Bellator. They are just very scattered and long breaks in between, but we are here getting a big semi-final fight. We're going to talk about that one at the top. Cris Cyborg defending her featherweight title for what will be, I believe, the 5th time in Bellator against Cat Zingano. And then the 3rd title fight, Liz Carmouche looking to defend her title for the 2nd time against Ilima-Lei Macfarlane, the longest reigning flyweight champion that Bellator's ever seen, and what will likely be her retirement fight. We're going to get into those 3, and it starts with the lightweight Grand Prix semifinal, Usman Nurmagomedov and Brent Primus. All right, for those used to watching on YouTube, kind of again try to finagle around here and get some some new layouts adjusted, but for the time being, I'm gonna just kind of go with this plain one and show some of the fights on screen. So bear with me, I'll get this sorted out as the time goes on here. But we're starting out with the lightweight Grand Prix semifinal. The champion Usman Nurmagomedov is a perfect 17-0. He's looking to extend to 18-0 this weekend against the seasoned veteran Brent Primus. Usman is literally 25 years old, but has been nothing short of dominant in his short few years within the Bellator cage. He's 6-0 in Bellator. 4 of them are by finish. He won the title against Patricky Pitbull in a decision. Noah and I got to see that in Chicago back in 2022. I believe it was November of 2022. And then earlier this year, just a one-sided beatdown of Benson Henderson got the finish even to make his first title defense and get through that first match in the lightweight Grand Prix. Brent Primus, 13 years the elder of Usman Nurmagomedov here. He's going to be 38 years old, but with that age difference does come a lot of experience against a lot of very, very tough competition. He's a former Bellator lightweight champion, albeit didn't quite defend the belt, but he won the title at Bellator New York City in June 2017, Madison Square Garden, where he beat up Michael Chandler, got the leg kick TKO finish, had Michael Chandler doing the stanky leg, the spaghetti leg, everything in between en route to that finish. He became the champion, did lose the rematch to Michael Chandler when they ran it back. But all that aside, he's a former champion, been there, done that. Usman, the young, fresh new toy, the new kid on the block, if you will. But man, he has just been so, so good in his Bellator career thus far. And I feel like, we get into this fight, and I feel like it's going to be much of the same. I feel like Usman is just that special of a talent. He is a guy that could be in the UFC lightweight division and still find success. He's not shown us any bit of reason to not believe that, at least in my opinion. He has just been so dominant, so clean, so technical, so precise. He's so well-rounded. He's not just that traditional Dagestan, Russia grappler wrestler. Yes, he's got those tools in the bag, but he can strike. He's long. He's rangy for this lightweight division. Just has a very good arsenal of weapons, and it's hard to go against someone that is honestly a phenom. And especially when your name is Nurmagomedov, it's even more scary. Really, this is kind of the scariest name combination you can have. Usman. Let's look at Kamaru Usman in the UFC. Nurmagomedov, Khabib Nurmagomedov. Put them together. This is what you get at just 25 years old. He's unbelievable. The future is so, so bright for this guy. I believe in this hype. And really, I think the hype is gone. I think it is all absolute legitimate star power. He's becoming one of the biggest names in Bellator. He's going to, especially, I know Bellator is kind of in the rumor mill to get bought by the PFL, and they're kind of just going to run their course until they run out of money, and then PFL kind of take over from there. I don't really know what's going to happen, but what they have with Usman Nurmagomedov is special. They're going to take advantage of that. Brent Primus, again, maybe the seasoned veteran, the expertise, the competition will play a factor here, but if it didn't for Benson Henderson, I don't think it's going to play a big factor for Primus as well. So, my prediction here, I'm going to go Usman Nurmagomedov. I think he even gets a finish here. Brent Primus is a guy that can get into some fun fights every now and again. I don't know if that's the right idea to do with a guy that's so well varied in his striking, his grappling, his MMA all-around game is special. I believe Usman gets a win, gets a finish, defends his title for the second time, and moves on to the lightweight Grand Prix final. Co-main event time, Cris Cyborg is back. This is a fight in Bellator that Noah and I had talked about for quite some time. Honestly, feels like it has been overdue for quite some time. We're talking Cris Cyborg here, the champion, versus the number 1 ranked Cat Zingano. These are two women that are absolute OGs, pioneers of women's mixed martial arts. They have both have been providing. They both have been fighting for over 15 years professionally. 2005 for Cris Cyborg and 2008 for Cat Zingano. They've went all that time, though, without ever crossing paths with one another. And here they are now in Bellator. Cyborg, 38 years old, Cat Zingano, 41. It's not like either are in their primes anymore, but they are still obviously having success. their paths have led them to Bellator 300, where they will finally meet for a title. Cris Cyborg has not fought since April of 2022. She had a rematch with Arlene Blenko and beat her by decision. So it's been a long time. We're heading into, October. Obviously, we were in October, I should say, of 2023. So if my math is correct, that is, I don't know, a year and a half since we had last seen Cyborg in the Bellator cage and defending her featherweight title. However, in that time off, she has had 2 boxing matches and has won both of those. They were both decision victories. So take that for what it's worth. I believe the last one was in December of 2022, though. So it's still been a little while since she's had any sort of ring/cage combat. Cat Zingano, on the other hand, has been fairly busy. She is 4-0 in Bellator since she moved on over at Bellator 245 in September of 2020. Her last win was against Ilima-Lei Macfarlane, a very good opponent in the featherweight division. I mean, guys, let's be honest here. The featherweight division for women's mixed martial arts isn't all that deep across the board, but at least Bellator has the most, complete, kind of ranking system, if you will, of fighters. There are plenty of women to fill it out, and Cat Zingano has went through 4 of them en route to getting this title defense. Better late than never is the saying. And Cris Cyborg came over to Bellator. When was that? I mean, it's been a long time, but she came over and won the title against Julia Budd via TKO. She's defended the title 4 times since, multiple finishes, had a decision victory that didn't go absolutely perfect for her, but still great when you're Cris Cyborg, and it's hard to beat her. Cris Cyborg going to be a big favorite, as she should be in this fight. She still has the speed advantage, I believe, albeit 38 years old. Cat Zingano has never been known for her striking to begin with. If she can't get Cris Cyborg down, which I don't believe she will, I still think Cyborg can have a pretty stress-free title defense. I didn't want to say easy because nothing really comes easy when you're fighting Cat Zingano, but stress-free could be a possibility here for Cyborg. She just has so much power. She has so much speed and precision. And really, like we've gotten to see in Bellator, Cris has shown more grappling and wrestling than we ever had gotten to see in the UFC, in Invicta, in Strikeforce. So you can't really sleep on her game. She even picked up her first ever submission victory of her career, which has spanned almost 30 fights in Bellator. So we've gotten to see more wrinkles of her game, even the later on into her career that she's gotten. So I'm curious on what you guys think about this fight. Is it long overdue for you, or are you kind of just expecting the inevitable, in your opinion, where Cris Cyborg can make easy work and make her 5th title defense in Bellator? Let me know. I do think Cyborg is going to get the job done here. I don't know if I see a finish, though. I kind of feel like this may go 5 rounds. Cat Zingano is so tough, durable. She's wanted this fight for a long time. There's not necessarily beef, but there's definitely a competitive rivalry that is brewed in the build-up to this fight. Cyborg been out for a very, very long time. I don't know if she can come right back in and just get a finish over Cat Zingano. I'm going to go Cyborg by decision as the prediction. Let me know what you guys think once again. And also, I didn't say it for Usman and Brent, but let me know your predictions there. We're going to head into the 3rd and final title fight of the evening. Women's flyweight Liz Carmouche, Ilima-Lei Macfarlane. We just got done talking about 2 OGs of women's MMA. Let's throw in another while we're at it at Bellator 300. Liz Carmouche, the 39-year-old Bellator women's flyweight champion, is having the most success of her entire career that we've ever seen, and that does include when she fought for a title in the UFC many, many moons ago. It's been so great to see someone that was such a seasoned veteran in the UFC who had fought Ronda Rousey for the bantamweight title, who in her last fight in the UFC had a losing effort to Valentina Shevchenko for the women's flyweight title. And so much competition, so many wins, so many losses. Granted, there's never good losses, but you're going to be hard stretched to find another female that has the amount of competition that Liz Carmouche has faced. And Ilima-Lei is one of the most experienced women's flyweights in Bellator's history. She is the longest reigning champion that they have ever had. She won the title at Bellator 186 in November of 2017 and reigned until Bellator 254, where Juliana Velasquez beat her. That includes 4 title defenses for Ilima-Lei. The big kind of story here At only 33 years old, Ilima-Lei has made it pretty clear she plans to retire after this fight, whether it's a win or a loss. Her last fight was in Hawaii. Kind of felt like she wanted to do it there. Gets this title opportunity. Feels like it's a perfect storm either way for her to end her career. Maybe that adds motivation. Maybe that kind of lessens the motivation or the hype, at least surrounding this fight, because I think you have to have everything in you. You got to be 100% mentally, physically, emotionally prepared to fight this version of Liz Carmouche. And if that's not there for Ilima-Lei, I think Liz rolls. I think she can get another big finish, another emphatic finish, another title defense. She made her Bellator debut in September of 2020. She's 6-0 in Bellator. 5 of those are by finish. A title win, 2 defenses. She's beaten Kana Watanabe by finish. She finished Juliana Velasquez twice. Say what you want about the first fight when she won the title. She proved that wasn't a fluke in their second fight by getting a big time submission, and she's beaten Deanna Bennett twice, both of those by submission. She's dangerous. I love the story for Liz Carmouche. I love what she's been able to do in this run in Bellator. And again, 39 years old, no spring chicken, but she showed no signs of slowing down. She could win here against Ilima-Lei and very well be ready to turn around again in the first or second quarter of 2024 and continue making those title defenses. It's a big illustrious career for both. But Liz, man, you can't deny that story, and I hope people respect that, what she's been able to do in her career, turn things around when really not many people probably thought anything else of her career after that final UFC fight. Ilima-Lei, it's been great. I think 14 of her 15 professional fights have came in Bellator dating back to January of 2016. We'll see what she can do in her last swan song. I'm going to go out and say Carmouche by finish. If I want to get specific, it's hard to say KO or submission, but she's had a lot of subs in the in Bellator. I'm going to go Liz Carmouche by submission here within 3 rounds. She is just that good right now. Again, with the motivation factors for Ilima-Lei, I think it's tough. So Liz Carmouche gets the job done, defends her title again, and I guess that would be Ann Stills across the board for the 3 predictions. Let me know what you think about this flyweight title fight. You think Ilima-Lei can get the job done, pull off the upset, or will Liz continue her reign of dominance in Bellator? It's a big card. It's a big opportunity for Bellator to kind of put all these rumors to rest and just have, a big event. They just came off of an event in Dublin, Ireland. The fans always go absolutely bonkers when they're over there. So hopefully this goes well for Bellator, that it feels like a big event. Be sure to tune in, guys. It's going to be fun. 3 title fights. You don't get to see that very much ever across any MMA promotion. So it's good that Bellator is trying to go big for their 300th event and even are pulling out the gold gloves. UFC did a gold canvas for 200. Bellator doing gold gloves for 300. It's going to be fun. It's a big deal. Bellator 300 goes down this weekend. Sorry if this layout is still a little clunky. I'm going to work out these kinks, get a little bit more comfortable doing this in a solo effort. So bear with me for the time being as we continue going through these changes. The layout and everything's going to get better, more appealing to the eyes. But hopefully you guys enjoyed it. If you did, drop a like on this video. Again, comment down below your predictions for this weekend's fights. We'll be happy to start a conversation in the comments. And don't forget to subscribe to the channel, ring the bell so you never miss an episode. We've always got fight news, fight breakdowns, fight recaps, and everything in between. If you like getting everything all at once, a long form podcast, be sure to follow us on Spotify, on Apple, on whatever your podcast listening platform of choice is. Give us a follow there. Give us a 5-star rating if you enjoy it as we continue to grow this community. We'll see you next time.